Hello everyone. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading here today for this Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. I'm coming at you today with a beautiful message here from Spirit. I'm letting you know today we are bright, shining, radiant beings, and it is time to fully embrace our light, okay? It is really a time to step into our energy here and being a way shower. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I'm seeing here is we are radiant beings of light. Okay, we are, it's almost as if we're carrying this torch, right? Our flame, our passion burns brightly within, our light burns brightly within. And how are we using that within our external world to create or become a force for greater good around us, right? How are we doing that? We are emitting this light and it's shining so bright right now. We're all glowing. And so this is a time for us to really embrace that, really get excited about being a way shower, right? And what I feel with this is you might have made some sacrifices along the way to be a way shower in the name of being a way shower, right? Almost as if you've been a martyr of some sort for the greater good of all, okay? And it's time to really speak out, and it's okay to go against the grain, so to speak. It's time to really embrace this spirit animal of the bison is what I'm being shown. And so this spirit animal of the bison is really bringing in this divine protection as we walk along this path. And so with this, it's about exuding this abundance, exuding this feeling of abundance, this gratitude as we're embracing this, right? And we are protected along this path. And the bison brings in, of course, with this earth element, this stability with it as we invite in this courage to do so. It brings in strength and it brings in prosperity. And so with this, I also see a lot of freedom with this and moving within, one line of the spectrum of freedom all the way to the other. So what does freedom mean to you now? If we visit our word of the year that we had at the beginning of the year, that was freedom and how we were going to be embracing it. So now we're mid-August of 2022. How have you seen freedom showing up for you? And how did you embrace it at the beginning of the year versus how are you embracing it in your personal life at this point in time? What does freedom mean to you? How are you seeing what themes of freedom are showing up for you? And what does that mean? What does it look like for you? What do you want it to look like? What are you still trying to manifest and bring into your space? And so, think back to the beginning of the year and what you were trying to usher in with that word, right? So because this freedom, right, I feel as we allow ourselves to kind of test the limits from that one end of the spectrum of that to the other, right? And you could be anywhere along that spectrum. You could still be at the beginning. I think it's personal journey for everybody, right? You could be at the very beginning of that, or you could be at the very end of that. You could be right in the middle. You could be 3/4 of the way. It is entirely a personal process. But I think that as you allow yourself to get more and more excited about what freedom looks like for you and what you're trying to manifest within that freedom, I think that you'll be embodying this very boldly, right? I think you're going to be embodying this freedom like never before. And I think that you're going to put new meaning to your life as a result of that. New meaning to free will, right? And when we talk about our free will, though, this is choices that we make within our life that we have the ability to do so. Nothing that was mapped out on the other side. There's things that we choose before we come into this life, right? And lessons that we have, goals that we have in terms of what we want to accomplish while we're here in this life. However, we have free will choices, and there's things that we can choose in how we go about learning those lessons. And so it's about bringing new meaning to that free will choices. How can I bring in those lessons and bring them in with ease. It doesn't have to be a hard lesson, right? And so you can still learn these things while you're here in this lifetime, and it doesn't have to be really, really crazy, or look really, really crazy, or feel really bad, and you can still learn this lesson. And so setting intentions around that and what that looks like for you within your own life. I feel like, you know, really with this bison comes in, it's a feeling of having the most selfless souls here, right? And it's this protection that this bison kind of comes in, this spirit animal, offering these selfless souls of the earth, right? And it's about understanding that you came here for a certain divine mission, though. And as a result of that, you probably bit off more than you could chew, and so you are trying to live a life with a little bit more ease. But in that, the bison brings in the broad shoulders, right? You took on a lot, and you've taken a lot of burdens on, but you're doing that with grace, and you're learning so much in the process. You've got so much strength within you in order to do all of this. And I feel like out of all of that, maybe you could be coming out of a phase where desperate times call for desperate measures, right? Perhaps you were like playing it safe. Maybe you weren't taking as many risks financially. Maybe you weren't taking as many risks in terms of living your life in your most authentic way for fear of being seen, fully seen as who you are at your core, because you were worried about what others might think of you, right? You don't want to go against the grain. You don't want to speak out against authority, right? And so that is really embracing that at this point in time, right? This is really going to be calling for you to test your limits now, to really start to take that risk in terms of being a testament of faith, right? This is going to be calling on you to take bold action, right? It's going to be out of character for you possibly. It could be out of the norm. It could really be calling on you to no longer play it safe, but to move into a space where you are standing out of it in terms of being convicted in your truth and telling the story of you, right? Telling your story. What got you here? How did you get into this? And what was your journey like up until now, right? And so I feel like even though there is this entire spectrum of freedom with that, you are starting to allow your intuition to guide you a little bit more, and you're starting to trust that process more and more. So it's really relaxing into this. There's a deepening of your faith, trusting that things are going to work out. You don't have it all figured out, and you are the first one to admit that, right? But this is about casting out those fears, casting out your doubts, and really trusting that support's going to show up along the way. And so I don't feel like there's any harboring of resentments anymore, right? Perhaps in the past you felt jaded, like, gosh, things didn't work out and this was to blame, or this person was to blame, or this situation didn't turn out like I had hoped that it would, and it was all things that were out of your control, right? And so there was resentments that were kind of building up, as if you had a disadvantage versus other people having an advantage over you in some way, shape, or form. But you are letting that all go now and creating space for what is and what will be. And so with this, you're now seeing your journey with love, and you are allowing yourself to lovingly see your journey as a means to have gotten you to where you are today, right? So you are allowing yourself to lovingly see this, right? Seeing this whole process with love, seeing yourself with love through all of your past mistakes, and you're seeing this as almost like a rite of passage, right? where now it's time to celebrate you as who you are, who you have become as a result of going through all of these things in your life, right? And you can see it in the way that you carry yourself. You have more, like, your head is held high, and you have more confidence, and you have more wisdom as a result of that, right? And so, I feel as though this is where it's almost as if you are emerging as a butterfly at this point. Spirit showed me a butterfly emerging from their cocoon, but almost as if you've been emerging for a while, and now it's like you're taking flight, okay? And so I feel like if you feel like you are just emerging, I feel like it's going to happen quickly, that you'll take flight, right? And so with this, this is your transformation, right? This is where you are starting to feel a shift in the energy, feel the weight of the past being released. This is your rebirth, right? You're becoming who you were meant to be, but in essence, you are becoming your true self, right? This is the return of your true essence. So this abundance, it's all on its way to you. Abundance is joy. Abundance is your financial blessings. Your abundance is your peace in your heart, living in your true authentic path, right? And honoring that and trusting that, okay? So it's almost as if it's on its way to you, right? And we talk about this abundance being your birthright, and it's been your birthright. This is nothing that you've ever had to earn, right? You've never needed to earn this. You've never needed to prove to any higher being, higher power, that you were worthy of this abundance, right? This is yours to simply return to. So as you are becoming, in this process of you becoming, you have essentially, in essence, returned to your divine being, your divine wholeness, right? Your divine core, your divine essence, your divine self, right? And when you did that, you've tapped into this well of abundance. And I'm getting so many chills with this. This is beautiful. And it's all starting to flow now. And it's a beautiful process because it's flowing like consistently. There is no on and off. I think perhaps maybe you have experienced in the past where it's been like this on and off, where you're like, okay, it's on, yay. And then, oh, wait, it's off. Oh, wait, it's on. It's off. And so you're like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I in a space? Like, what have I been working on in terms of shadow work to really try to release in order to be in this? But it wasn't really anything that you had to release. It was just you had to become. You had to really step into and fully embody your true divine self. And so as you started to deepen your faith and trust that it was all working out, things have like fallen away that weren't meant to be there any longer. Now, that could have been some of the things that were holding you back. Situations falling away, people falling away, beliefs falling away because you were seeing that things were working out. It could have been thought patterns changing up, right? Where you're recognizing, ooh, I don't like how that feels. I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to start to change that when I'm noticing that thought is creeping in, right? And so it's like a mix of all of it, and it slowly allowed you to fully become your true divine self once again. Because this is all a process. An awakening is really, truly a process of returning, right, to who you were when you came here, who you were at your core before you learned all of the things that you should be, right? And so it's all flowing though, and it's a beautiful thing. And so I feel like this is you being tapped in and fully tapped in and anchored in. We talked about that anchor in that last reading, but fully anchored in now to your true divine self, your who you are in your divine essence. And this is who you are going to be going forward. This is what you are embodying going forward. There's no more back and forth. This is a turning point. And this is a great turning point. So this is you being all that you are, connecting to the wisdom of all that is, tuning into the ancients, your ancestors, your guides, right? And perhaps you released something really big at that past full moon, because we talked about a healing at an ancestral level, something from your lineage way back that was holding you back, that you perhaps didn't even know what it was, being released. So we're talking big scale, personal level changes, but we're also talking about collective conscious changes, right? And so with this, I see the elevation not only of us at our personal levels, but as a global collective consciousness. And so with this, we are to rise above these earthly matters, right? You'll feel the elevation. You'll feel the lightness of this energy as it comes in. And this is right in divine timing, right? We're in alignment with all that is happening. And so, this is a transformation of the energy and feeling the lightness and the ascension for all. So beautiful reading here for us for today, and I do so hope that this resonates for you, and I'd love to hear from you if it is resonating for you. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon, and I hope everyone has an amazing day today. Thank you so much. Take care.